Okay, since you agree with the recording and we started our recording. Okay, just like yesterday in Introduction to Computing, that will be our last meeting. So today, this is also our last meeting in Computer Programming 1. Okay, kasi last two topics na lang po yung natitira sa atin when it comes to programming. So make sure na your compiler is working, your phone, para kapag gumawa tayo later on, wala tayong magiging problema. Okay? So I'll be sharing my screen now. Ayan, nakikita na ba yung screen? Pa-confirm, thank you. Kikita niyo na ba yung screen ko?
Yes, sir.
Parang inaantok pa. Ang tagal niyo mag-response ngayon, ha? Okay. Today we'll be discussing about the array and functions in computer programming. So right now we have your array. So, ano nga ba yung array? Para saan yung array? And of course, ano ba yung learning outcomes natin when it comes to this array topic na meron tayo? Okay. So, after a successful completion of this lesson, you should be able to use arrays to implement sort and search algorithms. So, basically, array is used for sorting and search algorithm. Ang kagandahan dito sa array and functions, may review kayo nito on your programming 2 or computer programming 2. Okay? Based on your syllabus, okay? Meron kayong array and functions also in computer programming 1, first and second topic na meron kayo. That's why yung array natin dito is most likely gagawin natin, then gagawin ulit natin for the computer programming to be able for you to refresh dun sa mga gagawin natin. Okay? So let's start. So Java array is an object which contains elements of a similar data type. Okay, so ibig sabihin, ang meron lang tayo will be elements with the same data type. Halimbawa, int, you have a elements of an int or integer. Kung gusto mong maglagay ng double, kung gusto mong maglagay ng string, okay, you have to separate it. Additionally, the elements of an array are stored in contiguous memory location. It is data structure where we store similar elements. We can store only fixed set of elements in a Java array. Bakit sinabing we can store only a fixed set of elements in Java array? Kasi it is actually enclosed in open and close curly braces also. Okay? That's why sabi, we can store only a fixed set of elements kasi pwede ka rin maglagay ng fixed value kung ilan ba yung elements na pwede mong ilagay doon sa sets mo. Okay, and also to be able for you to understand it more, data structure. It is data structure where we store similar elements. So you have your data structure on the second semester, if I'm not mistaken. So pwede siyang ma-check doon. Ewan kung data structure or discrete structure. Okay, and data structure, that's why data structure and algorithm, ang prerequisite niya is computer programming 1 ata. Kung di ako nagkakamali. That's why you must pass first your computer programming 1 or computer programming 2 before you take your data structure and algorithms on second year first sem. Okay? So array in Java is index based. Okay? Bakit sinabing index based? The first element of an array is stored on the zeroth index. That's why we always start with 0. Second element is stored on first index, so on and so forth. So you start with 0, ayan yung first index. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Element at index 8 will be this one. So indices tapos the array length. So ang array length natin is 10. Ang index natin is eto. Bakit naging 10? Kasi kahit 9 po yung last niyan, you start with 0. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That will be equivalent to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 elements or 10 array length po yung meron tayo. Okay? Now, to be able for us to understand more, we have types of array in Java. Okay? We have your single dimensional array or yung tinatawag nating 1D o yung tinatawag na one-dimensional array. So consider this a list of variables of similar data types, and each variable can be distinctly accessed by specifying its index. Okay, in square bracket, preceded by the name of that array. So, ano yung ibig sabihin nun? Ulitin natin ha. Each variable can be distinctly accessed by specifying its index in square bracket. So, ito yung index niya, which is yung 8. Okay? Preceded by the name of that array. So, ano daw yung pangalan ng array? So, one dash dimensional array, A, tapos 8. Okay? So, you have your A0, A1, A2, A3, A4, A5, A6, A7. Okay? Since 8 po, yung magiging length natin, that will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So, since wala yung length mo, A hanggang 7 po yung nakalagay. Kasi we always starts with 0. So let's have an example. Okay. So one-dimensional array declaration of a variable. We have here import java.io. Okay. That asterisk tapos semicolon. Class GFG public static void main string args which is our main method. So this is common kasi ginagawa na natin to doon sa unang program natin. Int A, that is the variable valid declaration. Int b tapos open and close bracket valid declaration or int open and close bracket tapos c tapos valid declaration. So ibig sabihin, we have different types or different ways kung paano ba tayo magde-declare ng variable natin into an array. First, you can start with a variable followed by, sorry, ito yan. You start with a variable, okay, you start with the data type, followed by bracket, then followed by variable, tapos semicolon. Now, you can also have int, which is the data type, variable declaration, which is B, then open and close bracket. We can also have this one again. Int, which is data type, tapos open and close bracket, tapos yung variable declaration natin, which is C. So, we can write it down in any way, sabi nga dito. Now, if you want to declare your array as below, ayan, ito yung example natin. Import java.io class cfg public static void main string arg. So, invalid declaration, if we want to assign size of an array of declaration, it gives a compile error time. Int a tapos 5, valid declaration, int b, tapos ayan. So, paano ba natin sasabihin compile error compile error to, tapos ito valid declaration. Let's check it. Okay, ito muna. Okay. Let's have your let's have an example. Ay, sorry. Kita nyo ba? Online Java compiler. Nakikita?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. Okay, let's have this one. So again, import java.io, public class, my class, tapos public static void main string. Sabi dito, valid declaration. So once na niran natin, dapat lalabas siya is successful. Tama ba? So once we execute this one, ayan. Walang lumabas pero tama naman yung result natin kasi wala naman talaga lalabas. Walang compile error, automatically tama po yung lumabas dito. Now let's have yung second, okay? We have this one, yung import java.io class cfg, then ito. So ito lang ikakopy natin. Tapos papalitan natin. Bakit siya naging valid, tsaka paano siya naging invalid. Of course, to check that one, okay, buburahin muna natin to. Okay, ayan. Sabi, invalid declaration, if we want to assign size of array at the declaration time, it gives compile time error. So, once na in-execute natin to, ayan, may mali. Kasi nakalagay int a tapos 5. Pero, if you were to ask, sir, bakit dito tama po? Ayan. Asan ba yun? Ayan, di ba? Int A tapos 5. Bakit dito? Int B tapos ito, valid declaration. The answer is, ang error lang naman niya, based dito sa sinabi is, if we want to assign the size of an array at the declaration time, it gives compile time error. Ibig sabihin, hindi ka pwedeng maglagay ng value without having your set of elements. Okay? That's why nagkaroon ka ng error. Ngayon, ilalagay natin tong isa. Ayan. Sabi, valid declaration. So, once na in-execute natin yan, of course, wala tayong compile error na lalabas. Kasi tama naman po yung valid or tama naman po yung declaration na ginawa natin. Now, moving forward, to be able for us to use a right, okay? A right assigning of size of an array. Now, we suppose we want to write multiple variable array declaration. We can use like this. Ayan. This one is multiple, no? Sabi, multiple daw. Pag sinabi nating multiple, ayan. Okay, if you were to ask, sir, bakit kinakopy paste mo yan? Of course, kapag tinype natin yan, medyo tatagal tayo. But, on your case, kailangan nyo pong i-type kasi you will not be able to understand kung paano ba natin siya ginagawa kung hindi natin gagawin yung pagta-type ng ganito. Okay? On my part, medyo maguguluhan kayo kasi naka-share screen ako eh. Kapag tinype ko siya, puro control tab lang ako ng control tab. Okay, that's why kinopy and paste ko na rin. And of course, I'm expecting, I expected na eh. I expected na ginawa niyo tong mga to. Hindi ko lang alam kung ginawa niyo talaga. No? Kasi the reason why we sent you your instructional material is to be able for you to read it, compile kung ano man yung program na nandoon. But it's up to you kung gagawin niyo yun. Okay? But that's the main reason kung bakit meron kayong IM. Kaya nga minsan ang online class tumatagal lang. Halimbawa, meron kayong 5 hours, tumatagal lang ng 2 to 3 hours. 'Di ba last time tayo laging 3 hours lang? Kasi ang ina-expect namin, kahit pa paano, nabasa niyo naman yung IM na binigay namin. Okay? Kasi if we are to adjust this pandemic, of course, you have to adjust also during this pandemic. Okay? Now, ang sabi dito, we want to write a multiple variable array declaration. Of course, ganito yung gagawin natin. Valid declaration, both arrays are one-dimensional array. Int A, ayan, nakikita ba o hindi?
Nakikita po, sir.
Wait lang. Ayusin ko lang. Ayan, siguro mas okay yung ganito. Wait lang po, ayusin ko lang. Yung interface ko kasi dito. Wait lang. Okay. So we have here int A tapos open and close bracket, comma, B, open and close bracket. That's one valid declaration, katulad nung kanina. Next, we have int C, tapos int D. Okay? This one is invalid. Bakit naging invalid declaration to? Kasi, nauna yung bracket, tapos D. Okay? Dito naman, pero pwede yan, di ba? Kasi dito sa ano natin, ito, di ba pwede? Kaya lang dito kasi, ito yung una mo, dapat ito rin yung pangalawa mo. Hindi pwedeng magbago. Plus may space dito. Invalid declaration, we have ito, tapos E, tapos yan, tapos F. Of course, this one will be wrong kasi nagkaroon tayo ng space. Okay? So once we execute this one, ayan, papansin nyo, lalabas yung compile error ng mga to. Pero once we remove this one, remove natin. Once na in-execute natin, of course, wala siyang magiging compile error. Kasi tama nga naman yung, valid declaration both arrays are one-dimensional array. So kung kailangan mo ng mas maraming variables, okay, mas maraming variable pero isang data type lang, of course, you can do this one. Okay? Nagkakaintindihan po ba tayo dito? Sa example na to. Naintindihan ba?
Hop.
Okay, let's continue. Okay, let's continue. Okay, when we declare multiple variables at the same time, we must first write variables and declare the variables except the first variable declaration. Okay, there is no restriction on the first variable. Now, when we are creating an array, it's mandatory to pass the size of an array. Otherwise, we'll get compile time error. So, ibig sabihin, kailangan daw natin mag-pass ng size of an array. Hindi pwedeng wala. Okay? Kasi magkakaroon tayo ng compile error. So, let's have it. So, you can use the operator to create an array. Ito yun. We have this is invalid. Int a is equals to new int. Okay? So this is invalid. Why? Kasi sabi nga, it is mandatory to pass the size of an array. Otherwise, we'll get compile time error. The valid. Int b is equals to new int tapos 5. Int c is equals to new int tapos 0 tapos new int tapos -1. This gives a runtime error kasi -1 po yung nilagay natin. We all know that we always starts with 0. So hindi tayo pwedeng mag-start with -1. That's why nagkaroon po ng runtime error. Now, to check it kung tama ba yon, of course, itry natin. So sabi dito, invalid daw to. So once we try it this one, dito, pag in-execute natin, ayan, magkakaroon ng error. Error, array dimension is missing. Kasi, since we are using one dimension, of course, it's actually looking kung ano bang value, okay, yung nakalagay dito. Kaya meron tayong nakalagay na compile error. Now, let's try this one. This is valid here creating the array of size 5. So, once we paste it here, ayan, wala siyang naging error. Tama ba? Pero, tapos na yung result kasi tama na yung program natin. Sir, wala naman pong lumabas. Of course, wala pa po tayong lumalabas kasi wala pa naman po tayong set of elements na nilalagay as 5 value dito sa new int. So, hindi pa tayo naglalagay ng halimbawa 5. So, that will be 6 in length. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hindi pa natin siya nilalagay. Or 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Ayan. Wala pa tayong ganun. Kaya wala pang lumalabas dito sa compilation natin. So, eto ngayon, nagbibigay lang tayo ng examples. No? Control C. Ayan. Ayan. So, once we execute, again, tama pa rin siya. Nakikita nyo ba? Nakikita nyo yung kagandahan of using your IM? That's why kung modular yung pinili mo, like ko sinasabi sa ICT na wala magiging problema if you use your modular approach. Kasi on my part, meron akong sample program, okay? Meron tayong output, tapos meron tayong assessment or activities. The difference is hindi ko siya ma-explain thoroughly kapag dating sa modular, but you can understand it. Okay? That's why halos hindi ka rin magkakaroon ng problema kung modular yung pinili mo this semester. But of course, mas okay na rin na you chose your online class. So, halos lahat kayo, isa lang naman ata yung nag-modular. Okay? Hindi ko lang alam for this coming second semester kasi parang kumuha na kayo ng list kung sino-sino yung mag-modular sa hindi. Okay? Wala pa akong final list nun. But sana before, or let's say this week sana mabigay na sa akin yung list kasi I'll be printing the modular instructional material, yung mga may modular mode of learning na pipiliin, magpiprint na po ako ng IM nyo. Okay, tapos iiwan ko na sa school on February 19. Okay, iwan ko na siya doon. Okay? Okay, this one. So, let's try this one. Yung int d is equals to new int tapos -1. Ayan. Ay, sorry, ano bang nakalimutan? It gives runtime error daw. So, kakopy natin tong comment. Yung comment po, again, hindi naman siya na-run, so okay lang na may ganyan. As long as you use your 2 forward slash o yung slash na tinatawag natin. Okay? So, once we execute the program, ayan, sabi dito, exception in thread main Java lang, negative array size exception. Kasi nga, meron po tayong array exception na lumabas, which is negative. Okay? So, magkakaroon ng exception. Okay? So, again, there is a difference between error and an array. There is a difference between error and exception. Okay? Pag sinabi nating exception, most likely, tama yung codes mo, okay? Pero logically, there's something wrong with your program. Kapag sinabi nating error, of course, there's an error. It's either a logical error or, of course, anong tawag dito? Syntax error. Pwedeng mali yung structure mo, pwedeng mali yung pagkakagawa mo ng codes mo. Okay, so yun yung mga kailangan nating tandaan. No? But on programming too, of course, we are to discuss exceptions or hierarchy of exceptions. That's why may intindihan po natin lahat yan. Okay, next. So, printing an array. Of course, pag sinabi natin printing an array, we are to output an array. So, let's have this one. So, sabi dito, a complete Java program to demonstrate working of one-dimensional arrays class one-dimensional array. So, we have public static void main string args, tapos int a. So, copy na lang muna natin ito para mas maintindihan natin. Excuse me. So, again, this one. So, copy natin, ha? So, again, kinakopy lang natin, no? Pero kayo po, you have to type it. Of course, hindi ko naman makikitang ita-type niyan, pero nasa sa inyo yan. Okay? Kasi ganito yan eh. Kung ano yung tinidiscuss natin, it's up to you to do it na on your way. Kumbaga, kung gusto mong matuto, you do it na ganito. Kung gusto mong matapos lang kasi requirements to, ganito, ganyan yung gagawin mo. But, you have to understand the consequences na kapag kinapi and paste mo. Sa akin, walang problema na kinapi and paste ko kasi ako yung nag-i-instruct ko ano yung gagawin. Kayo, kailangan yung gawin kasi kayo yung kailangan matuto. Okay? Okay. So, let's have it. Let's have int a. So, ibig sabihin, one-dimensional array declaration daw yung ginamit natin. Excuse me. So, a is equals to new int tapos 3. Creating array of size 3. Okay? Now, for int I, so we use for loop. Kasi, ang most of the time, ang kapartner po ng array is looping kasi nga, sabi nga, sorting and searching. Okay? So, for int I is equals to 0, tapos I less than 3, I plus plus. So, ibig sabihin, kapag less than 3 siya, mag-output pa siya. So, A of I or AI is equals to 100. Ibig sabihin, 100 daw po yung value ng A tapos I natin na value. Eh, yung I natin starts with 0. So, system.out.println A tapos I, pag in-execute natin, may error daw akong isa which is reach end while parsing nga ito. Kasi gumamit ako ng for loop, ayan, pero wala akong closing curly braces. Ayan na, pinakita naman ko ng error. Okay. Kasi etong close na to, eto, ayan, nakita nyo, nagkukulay, ayan na naman di ba? Pinapakita naman niya kung saan siya naka-open and close. Eto, it open and close the public static void main string. Alright, tapos eto is ayan. That's why kapag in-execute na ulit natin siya, ayan, tatlong 100 na. Now, yung question is, sir, bakit ganon? Eh, di ba, int a is equals to, a is equals to new int, tapos 3. Di ba kung 3 yan, ang array element dapat natin, or array length natin dapat is 4 kasi 0, 1, 2, 3. Tama naman, may point kayo, no? But on our looping, we have int I is equals to 0, which we always, or sabi nga, ang array natin, we start with 0, but less than 3. Hindi siya nakalagay na less than or equal to 3. That's why, ang lumabas lang po sa kanya is, ilan? 3 lang po. Imbes na 4. Diba? Kasi kung less than or equal to 3 to, yung for loop natin, of course, 4 po yung lalabas dito. Kaya lang less than 3. Nung nalaman niyang less than 3 na, yung value, of course, in-output niya na po yung 3. Sir, less than 3 pero 3 yung lumabas. Again po, we are using array. Eto, we start with 0, that's why ganyan po yung lalabas. Ibig sabihin, kung ang array niya ay naging 2, okay, ay sorry. Ibig sabihin, kung in-execute natin siya, okay, kapag yung A, ayan, lagyan natin ng example, no? A, tapos 2, ayan, hanggang dyan lang po yung ipiprint niya. So, ibig sabihin, 0, 1, and 2, tatlong value. So, ibig sabihin, kung ang output niya is less than 3, so, 2 yan, ibig sabihin, tatlo lang po i-display niya, which is yung tatlong 100 lang po. Nagkakaintindihan ba tayo doon? Naiintindihan ba yung point na yun?
Yes po.
Okay? Let's continue with two-dimensional array. But before that, okay, before we continue with two-dimensional array, pa-open naman ako ng compiler nyo, tapos can you give me an example of one-dimensional array, of course? Tapos, it will display, anong tawag dito? It will display yung tatlong letter B. Tatlong letter B. No, let's make it 5. 5 letter B. Once na kinumpile natin, okay, automatically, pwede natin gawin yan. Okay? So, pakigawa naman po yun, 4 na letter B, okay, using an array, using a printing array. Okay? Okay. So, may question dito si Perry. Okay? Sagutin natin to mamaya, Perry, no? Saan po pa madalas ginagamit yung array, sir? Okay? You do first your printing array na mag-print ng 4 na letter B. Okay? I'll be stop my share screen, okay? Tapos you can start now. Okay? I'll close my video and audio. Tapos, I'll give you hanggang letter B, 4 lang naman. Tapos, meron kayong pwedeng tignan kung saan gagawin. So, 9:08. I'll give you hanggang 9:15, 7 minutes. Kaya ba ng 7 minutes or hindi? Sagot agad para alam ko kung i-extend ko.
Hindi po, sir.
Okay, sige. Let's have it hanggang 9:25. That will be 16 minutes. Kaya na?
Opo, sir.
O, sige, yun na muna. Sige, you may start na. Ayan, are we done? Tapos na po ba tayo? Tapos na ba sa pinapagawa ko? Anyone?
Sir, tama na po ba na may ano po, yung parang sa babasahin ko.
Sorry.
Yung meron po siyang exception in thread sa dulo po. Pero execute naman po yung 5 letter B.
Exception in thread. Hindi, at least kahit paano sana okay siya lahat. Pero sige, let's wait for your other classmates kung ganun din ba yung nangyari sa kanila. Okay?
Okay po, sir. Thank you po.
Okay na? Sino na yung tapos na aside from Seth? Ako po.
Ako po, sir.
Si Jayan din daw, tapos na. Dichoso tapos na, tsaka si Lim. Sige, try muna natin si Jayan. Jayan, can you show your screen? Pa-share screen ako. Then explain your work. Ayan. Naka-NetBeans pa na siya.
Yung package ko po is array array 1, then yung public class ko po is array 1. Yung public static void main string. Tas variable char po. Kaya variable char kasi po, letter po yung ipapalabas po natin sa may output. Then, eto pong bracket is palatandaan po na array siya. Tapos, A is equals new char 4 kasi po, mag-i-install po tayo ng 4 na letter. Then, for int I is equals to 0. Tapos, yung condition niya po is I less than 4. Kapag hindi niya po nakuha hanggat hindi niya po makuha yung 4, hindi po siya titigil. So, kumari po, 0 is less than 4, false po siya. ano po siya ng output na B. Tapos A index I is equals to B system.out.println A index I. Kaya po index I kasi po for loop siya.
Index I kasi yun yung variable na ginamit yung for looping. Yes, that's right. Next.
Tapos ito po, rarun ko na po. Ito po.
Apat yung lumabas.
Apat na B. Opo.
May exception bang lumabas sa'yo?
Wala po.
Wala. Okay. Thank you, Jayan. Thank you for this. Sep, di ba sabi mo may exception yung sa'yo? Pwede bang makita namin kung ano yung gawa mo? Para at least ma-check namin kung ano ba yung pwedeng gawin. BBB. Jermaine job. Patingin ako ng code mo. Public static void main string. Paka-check mo nga yung string args mo. Okay. Diyan ba yun? Diyan ba yung open and close bracket ng args? Sa tabi ba ng args yun? Paki-check mo nga. String ata yun, tapos open and close bracket, tapos args.
Welcome to the webinar.
Paki-check mo yung yung code mo. Dun sa public static void main string args mo. Oh. Okay na. Yung string args mo, paki-check nga yan. Kailangan ba may semicolon yan? Yung public static void main string args mo. Tingnan mo. Di ba dapat string tapos open and close bracket? Though tama rin naman yung gawa mo. Open and close bracket tapos args ata after nun. Paki-check mo ha, paki-check mo. Open and close bracket tapos args, di ba? Burahin mo yan, sige burahin mo. String, open and close bracket, tapos args. Ayan, try mo nga, Iran. Array index out of bound, index 5. Kasi yung for loop mo ata, bakit less than 6? I don't know. Sige, ipalitan mo lang. Gawin mong 5 yan or 4. Or, 1, 2, 3. 4 lang kasi 4 lang yung kailangan. Less than 4. Ayan. Okay na. Okay na, ano? Ang tawag dito, Sep?
Okay na po, sir. Thank you po.
Okay? So, nagkaroon lang siya ng array out of bounds exception kasi yung value nung array niya is for 5 lang ata yun, no? Kaya lang ang nilagay niya kasi less than 6. So, basically, magkakaroon tayo ng array out of bounds exception. So, again, that is exception, no? Hindi siya, ang tawag dito, hindi siya error, pero exception only. Okay? Now, balik ako dun sa chat kasi nag-chat kanina si Perry. Sabi, saan po ba madalas ginagamit yung array, sir? Ang array kasi most of the time ginagamit for sorting and searching algorithm. For example only, no? Pwede mong gamitin yung array, okay, para ma-store yung data na sinesearch mo through browser. Halimbawa, nag-search ka ng Facebook. Okay, using array, pwede mong ma-store yung value ng Facebook para sa susunod na gagamit ka ng browser, mas madali na lang i-search ngayon yung browser na yun, ay yung URL na yun, or kung ano man yung mga web page na binivisit mo. Naintindihan ba natin? Perry?
Yes, sir. Thank you po.
Okay. Sige, walang problema. Okay. Okay, next. Let's continue. Ako naman yung mag-share screen ulit na. Oh, wait, may nag-comment pala. Si Maxine. Wait lang bago tayo mag-share screen. Sir, dapat ba parehas yung value ng array saka value ng 4? Depende po kung ilan po yung i-output natin. Of course, hindi siya pwedeng lumagpas dun sa value ng array or dun sa index value ng array. Pero kung mas mababa dun, okay lang. Tapos halimbawa, dalawa lang yung gusto mong i-output, of course, magbabago po yung condition ng for loop natin. Okay? Kasi hindi pwede kasing mas mataas siya dun sa index kasi paano magkakaroon or paano lalabas yung output na yun kung yung index niya is ganoon. Naintindihan na po ba? Maxine?
Opo, sir. Thank you po.
Sige. Wait lang po Okay. Next. Let's continue. I'll be sharing my screen now. Let's have your two-dimensional array. Okay, so after your printing array, we have now your two-dimensional. Of course, we also have your multi-dimensional array. So this is your two-dimensional array. So two-dimensional array in the Java programming language is nothing but an array of arrays. So parang dalawa siya, okay? Rows and columns na siya kapag nagkataon. In the Java two-dimensional array, data stored in rows and columns. Kaya nga, di ba, sabi ko sa inyo, rows and columns na siya. Can be accessed using both of the row index and column index, like an Excel file, sabi nga. If the data is linear, okay, the one-dimensional array can be used. However, in order to work with multi-level data, we need to use the multi-dimensional array. So let's have an example. So Java program to demonstrate different ways to create two-dimensional array. So eto yun. Okay, copy ko. Naka-share screen na ba ako?
Yes po.
Ayun,
Opo.
ayan. Sorry, kasi nag-iiba yung interface kapag naka-share screen. Wait lang. Okay, so nakalagay, valid, tapos invalid. So, try muna natin itong mga valid. No? Once na in-execute natin, of course, wala siyang magiging compile error. So, sabi, kapag two-dimensional daw, int data type, data type, lagi ako nagkakamali variable name, tapos yung dalawang, anong tawag dito? Open and close bracket. Pwede mo rin naman gawin yung ganito, tapos letter, ayan. Pwede rin yung ganito, pwedeng ganyan, pwedeng ganito, pwede rin ganyan. Now, if you were to ask, of course, it's up to you kung ano yung gusto mong gamitin. Okay? Plus, of course, plus, of course, pwede mo namang sundan kung ano ba yung una mong ginawa dun sa one-dimensional array. Yung pagkakaiba lang, magdadagdag tayo ng isang open and close bracket for another index. Okay? Next. Eto, magiging invalid na siya. Yung dalawang close bracket, tapos data type, tapos variable name, or isang bracket, data type, tapos variable name. So, kapag nila natin siya, magkakaroon ng compile error. Ngayon, just to remind everyone, as early as now, kailangan alam nyo na po kung saan kayo mas komportabling mag-declare ng variable or mag-declare ng array nyo. Kasi kapag hindi nyo alam kung saan kayo mas komportable, baka ito yung gagamitin kong code. Ay, ito na lang yung gagamitin kong code. Ay, hindi, ito pala yung gagamitin kong code. Hindi dapat ganun. Okay? Dapat maging fix kayo kung ano ba yung tingin nyo, okay, masanay ako dito. Pag sinabing array, ganito yung format ko. Kasi one-dimensional, two-dimensional, tapos multi-dimensional array, pare-parehas po yan. Kumbaga, kahit na, tawag dito, kahit na umabot ka ng multi-dimensional array, kung ang pinili mong variable declaration or declaration of your array is etong step A or yung second choice mo o yung third choice mo, okay lang yun. Kasi nga, at least alam mo kung ano yung mas gamay mong gamitin for array declaration. Now suppose we want to write a multiple declarations of array variable when you use it like this. So a Java program to demonstrate multiple declarations of array variable. So import java.io, class gfg, public class, tapos ito. Okay, so let's have it. So ang kagandahan dito sa binigay ko sa inyo, meron siyang, of course, meron siyang comment. So basically, kapag gagawin nyo, maintindihan nyo kung para saan ba yung mga codes na yan. Ayan. Here A is two-dimensional array, B is two-dimensional array also. Ayan. Here C is two-dimensional array, D is two-dimensional array. Ayan. Okay? So this is an example of arrays na meron tayo. Two-dimensional and two-dimensional array. Okay? So this one is yung tinatawag nating multiple declarations. Okay? So next. Creating a single-dimensional array and two-dimensional array without a new operator. Ibig sabihin, hindi na daw po tayo gagamit ng tinatawag nating new. Di ba? Meron tayo, halimbawa, int a tapos bracket is equals to a is equals to new int tapos meron tayong value. Ngayon, ito na yan. Creating a single-dimensional array and two-dimensional array without a new operator. So, paano ba gagawin yun? So, this one, Java program for one and two-dimensional arrays without new operator. Class 1 two-dimensional array. So, ito yung gagawin daw. Ayan. So, let's try it. Okay. So, ito siya. So, we have here int, tapos A is equals to 111, tapos 222, 333, tapos B is equals to 20. Okay. Ito, it prints the one-dimensional array. So, system.out.println, B, tapos 0. Print 2D array for int I is equals to 0, I less than 3, I plus plus. Tapos sa loob nun, you have your 4, int j is equals to 0, less than 3, j plus plus, a, I, and j is equals to 100. The system.out.println, a tapos I, tapos yung laman din nung j. So, ano mangyayari doon? Once na in-execute natin, okay, may error akong isa kasi ako naglagay na.
Close bracket, ayun.
So you have your 20. Bakit ito 20? B of 0 is 20 kasi isa lang naman po yung laman niya. Ayan. Kasi di ba nag-print ka na rito. So automatic tapos na to kasi meron ka ng line terminator. Next. 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. Bakit siyam na 100 yun? Bakit ganun yung nangyari? You can explain.
Parehas pong 3 yung ano nila sir dun sa INJ. Nagsama po sila dun sa system out at print nila.
Sorry. Sa I and J, parehas na
Na yung 3 po yung lalabas.
3.
012 po.
0,
From
1,
0 to
2. Tapos,
then parehas po silang tatlo. Then nagsama po sila dun sa system out print. Kaya po
okay.
naging
Kaya naging 100 kasi yung sinasabi mong 0, 1, 2 that corresponds to this element, and this element, which is composed of ilang length ng array yon? Siyam. Kasi 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Ayan. That's why kung bibilangin mo to, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Nagkakaintindihan po ba?
Opo.
Okay. Next. Creating one-dimensional array or two-dimensional array using new operator. Ayan yung meron naman tayong new operator. So parang uulitin lang natin, no? Excuse me. Ayan. So int A tapos B is equals to 20. A is equals to new int 3 of 3 tapos B is equals to new int 3. Print 1D array for int I is equals to 0, I less than 3, I plus plus. Okay? Tapos 93. Ano yung 93? Sorry. I think may mali dito. Okay, next. Print 2D array for int I is equals to 0, j plus plus, blah, blah, blah. Execute natin. Ang lumabas, 0, 0, 1, 2, 3, 8, 9. So, ganun ba yung lumabas? Of course, 0, 0, ganyan, ganyan. Bakit ganun yung lumabas? Tatlong 0 tapos 100. Sino pwede mag-explain? Or nakaintindi kung bakit tatlong 0 tapos siyam na 100. Of course, yung siyam na 100, alam na natin yon kasi based on dun sa 333 ng A and B. Ngayon, bakit meron tayong tatlong 0?
Kasi yung new int po sa A ay dalawa tapos yung new int po sa B ay isa po. Kaya bali tatlo po yun. Tama?
Ano na, sorry?
Sa A, di ba po sa A, dalawa pong yung two-dimensional. Tapos yung isa dito,
Yung B,
one-dimensional.
one-dimensional. Kaya
Opo.
tatlo. Okay, paano naging 0? Ba't hindi pwedeng tatlong 1? Bakit 0?
Po dun sa I is 0 lang po. Kaya po naging 0 lang po yung dito po katabi po ng I is equal to 0 po. Kaya po 0 lang po.
Int I is equals to 0. Yes, that's right. Pero may I less than 3.
Wala pong value yung B, kaya po 0.
Ayan, that's right. Oo, tama yung sinabi ni si Blessy ba yung unang sumagot? Sino yung unang sumagot? Tama yung sinabi niya na tatlo lang talaga. Okay? Plus the less than 3 of course. Pero yung bakit 0 kasi tama yung sagot ni sino sumagot ng kasi walang value yung B.
Ako
Sino
po.
sumagot? Sino 'yun? Si Desiree ba 'yun?
Si J.An po.
J-An. Ayan. Kasi po wala pang value yung B. Unlike dito, we have your value na 100. Ayan Dito wala. Nagkakaintindihan po ba tayo? Naintindihan? Kung bakit 0? Tatlong 0. Siyam na 100. Questions with this one? Check ko nga, baka may chat na naman. Wala naman. Naintindihan na ba? Okay?
Yes, sir.
Doon sa mga susunod, you'll be the one to do that. Ayan, ito yan, meron tayong Java searching kasi kanina more on sorting lang tayo, di ba? We have your Java searching here. Java searching and sorting. Ayan. Naku, mukhang mapuputol na naman ah. Andito pa ba kayo?
Yes, sir.
Opo, sir. Buhay pa naman po.
Yes,
Sir, malag ka lang po.
Hindi, kasi ang tawag dito, nagkaroon ako ng mabagal yung internet ko. Baka, oo. So anyway, ayan, pakigawa naman ako nung ibang activities na meron tayo dito. Or sige, tapusin na nga natin. How to print array in Java, of course, we've done that. Ayan, using for loop. Okay, let's have this one. Ito. Example for loop. We have created an array of lengths of 4 and initialized elements. We use the loop to get the values from array. It's the most popular way to print arrays in Java. Okay, so try this one. Let's try this one. Kasi nagamit nyo lang ata yung string functions using lowercase, uppercase, ganyan. Pero hindi via use of length. Kasi meron din tayong dot length sa string. Okay? So declaration and instantiation of an array, int arr, tapos is equals to new int, tapos for initializing elements. So, ikaw din magbibigay ng value, no? Meron siya dito, arr 0 is equals to 10, arr 1, 2, 3, tapos 20, 70, and 40. Now, traversing over array using for loop. So, for int I is equals to 0, I less than r dot length, tapos I plus plus. Length is the property of an array. So, system.out.println, arr, tapos I, ang lalabas po ay, okay, sorry, wait. $10, $20, $70, $40. Walang pagkakaiba, tama ba? Okay? Ang ginawa niya lang, dinisplay niya using ar.length. Okay? Length is the property of an array. It checks kung gaano ba karami yung array na meron ka. And it also display kung ilan ba yung array na gusto mong i-display doon sa code mo. Okay? Okay, so ayan then we have an example sa CP. Okay. So let's have yung Java searching. Ayan. Ito maganda kasi may mga stock that push. Pero hindi na natin ito papasukin, no? Kasi sa second semester nyo na ito kunin. Kasi mahirap naman na i-discuss ko yung stock na push. Sa stock po kasi we have push and pop. Sa queue, we have queue and dequeue. Okay? Pero wag muna natin i-discuss tong stocks na to. Of course, this one is included also on your data structure. But this one will be discussed on your second semester. Ngayon, kung ano yung nakikita nyong slide for array, this one, and dun sa functions, gagamitin din po yan sa first and second topic nyo doon sa second semester nyo. Okay? Baka kasi mami, magtaka kayo bakit may ganito, na-discuss na natin to. Okay? Pero yung mga stocks na to, ayan, i-discuss na lang po natin yan. Ha? Pag sinabi natin discuss. Pag sinabi natin stock, ano ibig sabihin ng stock?
Mga patong-patong po, sir.
Yes, that's right. Patong-patong. That is last in, first out. Pag sinabi natin queue, first in, first out. So halimbawa, pumila ka sa ATM, pumila ka sa fast food. Of course, kapag ikaw yung una, ikaw din yung unang lalabas. Doon naman pupapasok yung property na first in, first out under your data structure. Okay? That's why sabi ko nga, second semester na natin siya i-discuss. Okay? Ayan, meron tayong sorting, insert sort, bubble sort. Ayan. Of course, in-anticipate ko na po na hindi natin, kumbaga, dinaanan lang natin na we have sorting, ayan, selection sort. Pakibasa na lang po, okay? in-anticipate ko na hindi ko i-discuss thoroughly yung mga sorting. Kasi nga, kasama yun sa second semester, kumbaga dinaanan lang na natin. Kaya dun sa activities and assessment nyo, you only have yung activities and assessment under ng array na code of the program na madadali lang. Katulad dito, expected output is eto. Take 20 integer inputs from the user, then print the following. Kumbaga, maglalagay ka ng, tatanungin mo yung user, halimbawa, enter a number. Enter a number 1, number 2, number 3, hanggang number 20. Or 20th integer. Tapos, i-display niya yung number of positive numbers, number of negative numbers, number of odd numbers, number of even, tas number of zeros. Okay? So basically, lahat po yon under po nung una nating diniscuss sa array. Okay? Hindi kasama yung mga sorting na yan. Nagkakaintindihan ba tayo? Naintindihan ba?
Yes, sir.
Opo.
Okay, let's continue. Ito na, functions na tayo. Okay, this one will be discussed also in second semester, but at least alam nyo kung paano ba natin siya gagamitin this first semester para sa susunod, pag nag-program tayo, pwede na natin i-functions. Okay? Function is one of the most important property of your, or let's say, part of your Java. Kasi yung mobile development, okay, OOP natin, ganyan, object-oriented programming natin, which is under your second year, lahat po yon or most of that, functions na po yung ginagamit natin. And we are to create a new variable or new object, okay, kasi nga object-oriented programming or new functions. Okay, that's why we have your functions. Okay, so paano ba yan? Learning outcomes, okay? Identify the different string and character functions used in Java. Of course, na-discuss na natin some of the string and character functions. So, sa string, meron tayong to lowercase, to uppercase, okay? Length, ano pa ba? Marami pa. Or, naku po, internet connection is unstable. Discuss the different mathematical function, explain the purpose of using global and local variables. Okay? Ay, sana umabot. Wag naman sana ako ma-disconnect. In Java, all function definition must be inside classes. We also call functions methods. We also call functions as methods. Let's look at an example of a method. Ayan. Public static void foo, tapos do something here. Ayan. Lagyan natin dito, ha. Ito na po yung sample ng function natin. Pag sinabi nating function, ayan, i-create na tayo ng panibago. Di ba ito kasi main method natin, no? Kasi di ba sabi, functions can be called as method also. This is your main method. Ito yung ibang method mo. So, gumawa ka ng sarili mo. Do something here. Ayan. So, pwede ka mag-code dito kung ano man yung gusto mong ilagay. Okay? Ayan. So, let's continue para makita natin yung iba. Naiintindihan ba? Ito yung main method. Gumawa ka ng sarili mong method using public static void foo. Yun nakalagay. Okay, lagay mo dito. Seth. Max. Ganyan. Okay, max set. Okay. Ganun lang yung nakalagay natin. Okay, so pwede mong baguhin yung variable o yung method name mo, depende po sa'yo. Okay? Now, foo is a method we defined in class main. Notice a few things about foo. Static means this method belongs to the class main and not a specific instance of main, which means we can call the method from a different class like that main.foo. Ibig sabihin, pagtatawagin natin siya sa ibang class, kasi di ba, ang ginagawa natin last time, pag nagra-run po tayo, isang class lang. Di ba, halimbawa, pag nagpa-create ako sa inyong panibagong program or may pina-activities akong pinagawa, di ba, ang ginagawa natin is gagawa tayo ng, halimbawa, new.java, okay, add.java, even.java. Kumbaga, iba-ibang class yung ginagawa natin o iba't ibang .java. Okay? Kapag gumagawa tayo nun, of course, nakakapag-create tayo ng panibagong class. Okay? Kasi nga, ang .java, yun din po yung class natin. Okay? Ngayon, kung meron tayong methods na ganito, of course, we have method calling from another class. So, ibig sabihin, anyari ako, meron akong class 1, meron akong class 2. Ngayon, kahit hindi ko buksan si class 2, pwede ko siyang tawagin or pwede ko siyang i-run using the class 1. O, ito pa isa. Meron akong class 1 or halimbawa, new class.java. Okay? Meron ako new class 1.java, new class 2.java, new class 3.java, new class 4.java. Ang i-run ko lang is yung new class.java. Okay? Tapos yung new class 1, new class 2, 3, and 4, pwede ko siyang i-run gamit lang yung new class.java ko. Yun po yung tinatawag nating method calling from another class. Ibig sabihin, you can run another class, another method, okay, using only a single class. Ibig sabihin, kung napakaraming file mo, hindi mo na kailangan magbukas isa-isa. Ang gagawin mo lang is i-run mo gamit itong code ko or gamit itong isang class na to. Okay, halimbawa sa inyo, sa PC nyo or sa phone nyo, ang dami yung class na ginawa na, nakalagay lang sa isang folder. Pwede mo siyang tawagin, pero isang file lang yung bubuksan mo. You can do that using your method. Okay, let's have it. So void means this method doesn't return a value. Methods can return a single value in Java and it has to be defined in method declaration. However, you can use return by itself to exit the method, of course. This method doesn't get any arguments, but of course, Java methods can get arguments as well as we'll see further on. So arguments, ito na yan. Arguments to the Java methods are passed by value through them some kind. Although some might disagree with the choice of words, I find the best way to explain how it works exactly. So ito yung by value means that the arguments are copied when the method runs. Let's look at an example. Ayan. Public void bar, int num1, int num2. So instead of declaring it doon sa taas, ito, di ba minsan di tayo naglalagay int num1, num2. Ayan, ganyan tayo mag-declare, di ba? Ito po yung tinatawag nating global variable. Ibig sabihin, kapag naglagay tayo dyan, automatically, globally, okay, magagamit yung tawag dito, variable mo. But kapag naglagay ka dito, halimbawa, int num1. Ayan. Tapos, gumawa ako ng panibago kong method. Okay pa rin to. Okay, bakit naging okay? Kasi local variable na siya. Ibig sabihin, ang iniintindi niyang method is under nito. Under din nito. Hindi niya under ng public static void main string args. Naiintindihan po ba? Ibig sabihin, kahit na pares kayo ng variable name, okay lang. Kasi local variable naman po yung ginagamit natin. Okay? Naintindihan po ba yung sinasabi ko? Naintindihan ba? Naintindihan natin?
Yes po.
Okay, sorry. May check lang ako. Okay, so here's another place in the code where bar is called. So int a is equals to 3, int b is equals to 5, bar tapos ab. Okay? So ang dami nating pwedeng gamitin when we use the method. Okay, we also have non-static method. Ayan. Okay? So try to understand everything na meron tayo dito. So let's have this one. Ayan, function app. Ay, wag. Medyo complicated na yun sa inyo. Naku, wala ata. So, sige, let's have this one. Ito. So, Java string class, ito importante ito, aside from function. No? Java string class provides a lot of methods to perform operations on strings such as compare, concat, equals, ignore case, split, length, replace, compare to, intern, substring, etc. Sa character sequence naman, ayan, string, so the character sequence interface is used to represent a sequence of characters, string buffer, and string builder classes to implement it. It means we can create strings in Java by using these three classes, string buffer, tapos string builder. Now, gaya ng sabi natin kanina sa learning outcomes natin, okay, we are to define yung mga string functions. Okay? So, ano-ano ba yung mga string functions natin? Okay, some of it nagawa na natin, and some of that, of course, will be explained on your second semester. Okay? Again, we have your compare, we have your concat, we have your equals, we have your split, you have your length, replace. Some of it nagamit na natin. Tama ba ako? To lowercase, to uppercase, nung nag-search tayo. Ano pang meron na nagamit natin? Maliban doon. Ano ba yung nagamit natin maliban doon? Meron pa ba tayong nagamit? Everyone? Wala na ba akong kausap? Nawala ba internet ko? Nandito pa ba kayo?
Sorry sir, hindi ko lang po alam yung sasagot sir. Sorry.
Okay. Nakalimutan agad yung mga ginamit sa string. Ang dami na natin ginamit Huwag yung sabihing nakalimutan nyo na. Lowercase, uppercase, equals, ignore
Ignore
case.
case.
Ba't wala tayong
Natatandaan ko
kasagot?
lang sir yung simple lang eh. Yung simpleng ano lang sir, letter pati, since di ba pwede yung number pati letter sa string, yun lang yung natatandaan kong ginamitan natin sir.
How about yung mga comparison?
Ay, string din pala yun. Sige sir.
Di ba? Kasi kapag ganito, sabi ko nga, mapasok lang kayo pag requirements. Sa requirements. Mahirapan tayo niyan kasi that's a string di ba? Di ba sabi ko nga una pa lang, string is a class. That's why pinag-aralan natin kung ano yung string. Kaya lang, di tayo pumasok dun sa mga concat. Ano ba yung ganun? Concat, intern, equals, length. Ba't ko nga ba hindi nilagay yung mga replace, substring, ganon? Kasi the only reason kung ba't hindi ko binigay yun, kasi hindi pa naman siya usable. Plus, yung ibang term na yon hindi naman siya laging ginagamit. Unlike nung equals, ignore case, to lowercase, to uppercase. Lahat yon useful kahit saan mo gamitin. Kahit sa mismong module ng program mo. Pero yung iba, hindi naman siya totally pwede mo na siyang i-declare. Di ba? Ba't ka magpapalagay ng string tapos i-replace mo? Something na gano'n. Ba't ka maglalagay ng intern? Yung length, gusto mong gamit ng length para ma-check kung ilang number of strings yung nakalagay doon sa'yo. Okay, sige. Pero yung mga to uppercase to lowercase, yun na may mga importante. 'Di ba? Especially kapag gagawa ka ng mga username, password mo. Okay? Try to remember everything, no? Kasi hindi natin pwedeng balikan lahat. Okay, nasa inyo yung IM to be able for you to read your IM. Actually, dapat matagal na tayong tapos, 'di ba? Kaya tumagal tayo kasi most of you hindi naman binabasa yung IM na binigay natin. 'Di ba? Kumbaga, para saan pa? Para saan pa yung paggawa natin ng IM kung di naman natin binabasa or hindi natin ginagamit? Kaka-problema tayo doon. 'Di ba? May recorded class tayo. Sige, sabihin natin pinapanood, pero wala, nawawalan tayo ng time. Okay? Dun sa sample programs and activities nyo pagdating sa functions, andyan na rin po yan. Ang gagawin nyo lang is, tapos lalagay nyo lang kung ano ba expected output. This is all, most of it, lahat to is yung mga nagawa nyo na. Or let's say, na-encounter nyo na. Case, common programs. Ito, we have your array. So all in all, eto na po yan. Okay? I'm hoping na next time is hindi totally